this is unsayable. Do you try saying that product? AIOI Aura Edition. Are you what the fuck? You can get up to the X9 388H chip. You can get up to the X9 388H chip. Fuck me, what a mouthful. You can get up to the X9 388H. Who names these products? Alright, I've been working on my annual video, Why Buying a Laptop Sucks, because this year things are going to get so much worse for laptop buyers. But one issue, just so big that right now I felt it needed its own video. And no, it's not the price of memory. So today, it is my honour to be presenting the awards for the top 5 worst named products of 2026. Get your popcorn ready, guys. This is going to get ugly fast. Coming in at number 5 is any laptop with AI in the name, whether it's Asus, MSIs, LGs. Nothing pisses buyers off more than seeing AI in a product's name. Everyone knows there is nothing specifically AI about these laptops, and you're just trying to treat us like a bunch of idiots. And little hint, guys, we don't like giving our money to a company that is at least indirectly telling us that we're idiots. Plus, AI right now, it's really consumer repellent. I mean, everyone knows it is making our lives worse just as much as it is making our lives better. Those data centers running AI, they are taking our supply of GPUs. NVIDIA, they actually cancelled their RTX Super Series launch that was supposed to happen at CES. That's where they were going to up the VRAM in their GPUs, something gamers actually want. But that's only a fraction of the pain with AI. I mean, those data centers, they're probably increasing your electricity bill and sucking up the supply of memory. So in 2026, because of AI, your new laptop may be worse than it should have been and more expensive. And just as a business person, I really want to talk about something that I haven't seen anyone addressing. You've probably heard about the billions of dollars being spent on AI. That money is not just conjured out of thin air. Let's follow it. Who's spending big on these AI data centers? Well, Google and Meta. Where are they getting it from? Advertising dollars. Who pays those advertising dollars? Well, laptop retailers and manufacturers. And who pays them? We do when we buy a laptop. Those billions of dollars being spent on AI, it is inflating the price of our laptops. Do you want to pay more for your new laptop so you can watch AI slop videos on YouTube and TikTok? So, moral of the story, manufacturers, don't tie your new laptop to something that consumers don't want. Alright, coming in at number 4 is Lenovo's very simply named Yoga Slim 7i Ultra Aura Edition FIFA Edition. What a fucking mouthful. Yoga means Lenovo's consumer line, Slim means it's a clamshell and not a 2-in-1, 7 means it's one of Lenovo's more premium laptops but not as premium as a 9, I means it has an Intel processor inside, Ultra means it's better than a 7 line but not as good as a 9, Aura Edition means it has a newer Intel processor in it, and FIFA Edition means it's that special soccer-looking one for the World Cup. Now, this laptop is actually a really good laptop, but it's a ridiculous product name, and it just highlights this inherent problem in the entire Windows laptop space. There are too many cooks in the kitchen. You see, you are not Lenovo's primary customer. I'm talking about us here, right? The buyers for retailers are. If a buyer for a large retailer demands a laptop or CPU be called a certain thing, well, that's what it is called. Also, there is this weird thing happening right now in the entire laptop industry. You see, manufacturers, they pay Intel for their CPUs. No surprises, they're pretty obvious. But then Intel gives those manufacturers money to spend on marketing. But of course, that money can only be spent marketing laptops with Intel CPUs. This is so friggin' stupid. Manufacturers should just pay Intel less for their processors and then do their own marketing. Anyway, Intel also appears to have a say in what these laptops get called. That's probably why we have the Aura Edition to differentiate the laptops with Intel processors. Guys, no customer is going to know this. I actually had to look it up, seriously. These products are being named by committee, and boy does it show. I mean, Lenovo are clearly just trying to please everybody instead of making it simple for the end buyer, us. Let's call a spade when a product name is as long as the Yoga Slim 7i Ultra Aura Edition FIFA World Cup 26 Edition, Everyone is just going to call it the Ultra. All those marketing dollars that Lenovo has spent and the countless hours of meetings, complete waste because consumers can't remember it or don't even know what it means. I mean, realistically, this laptop should have just been called a Yoga 9 or a Yoga 8. That's if they don't feel it's premium enough to warrant a 9. Now, on that note, what is the aversion, guys, to these manufacturers using even numbers? It's like all these marketers took the same marketing class that said, even numbers are the devil. For Windows manufacturers, there is this wonderful word in the English language, and it is no. When you get asked to name your product something stupid, the answer should be no. Coming in at number 3 is AMD's Ryzen AI Max processors. These are AMD's high-end laptop processors. You guys might know them as Strix Halo. The fact I even have to join those dots together, kind of giving you a little tease of the problem. Essentially, these are APUs that combine a very powerful CPU with a powerful integrated GPU. Once again, great product, terrible name. Let's start with the obvious. These are called AI processors. Yep. They have an NPU, but realistically, there is nothing particularly AI about these chips. AMD, we can smell bullshit a mile away, it doesn't smell good, and it doesn't make us want to buy your product. The second thing here is AMD is using the plus at the end of Max to indicate their chips that have the more powerful 40-core GPU, not the 32-core one. I mean, nobody is going to know this. Also, let's put on our little preschooler hat here. I mean, Max Plus, not correct English, guys. Max by definition is the max. There is just nothing greater than Max. Saying Max Plus, it just makes you sound like a moron. Also, the different names of these processors are just too close together. I mean, the lowest tier processor is called the Ryzen AI Max 385, and the most powerful one is the Ryzen AI Max Plus 395. 385, very similar to 395, literally a 3% difference. But the 385 chip has half the CPU cores as the 395, 8 versus 16. This is a huge performance difference, and it's really confusing. I can totally see someone buying a laptop with a Ryzen AI Max 385 just not knowing that it is so much worse than a laptop with a Ryzen AI Max Plus 395. I can't believe I was able to just say that. Finally, I want to bring up another problem that just plagues CPU manufacturers, well, other than Apple. Most processors you see for Windows laptops, they're known by two names. There's their code name, in this case Strix Halo, which is used before the launch. And then there's this public name that's used after the launch, Ryzen AI Max. The problem is, by the time these products launch, we've already been using the code name for months. All of a sudden, we need to switch to this new name, so we have to use both to just join the dots for you guys. For example, this laptop includes AMD's Ryzen AI Max Plus 395 chip, which is one of AMD's Strix Halo processors. I mean, really? And this is a solvable problem. Just stick with Strix Halo and specifically call out the number of CPU and GPU cores that the individual processor has. It's really self-explanatory, and it's exactly what Apple has been doing. Alright, taking our runner-up spot for the worst named product of 2026 is Intel's entire line of new Panther Lake processors. Let me break it down for you. Intel released an eye-watering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 new processors. And this is only the beginning. You've once again got Core Ultra 5 processors that perform better than Core Ultra 7s. And if you think a higher 300 number in the name means it will perform better, think again. Take the Core Ultra 5 338H. It has 12 cores and likely smokes the Core Ultra 7 355 with only 8 cores. The issue is there are really just two different sets of processors here. You see, there's the more powerful ones with H in the name and then the less powerful ones without it. But Intel, they're using the same headline branding for both.
It's a trap!
Guys, we spent 2 days in Best Buy asking shoppers how do you pick laptops. Shoppers are just still stuck on the Core i3, i5, i7 branding of old. That's when a larger number meant, unsurprisingly, a more powerful processor. They just don't know about this H-series versus non-H versus HX, which now is the primary factor determining performance. Heck, a lot of retailers, they don't even show that part of a processor's name. But this is still only just scratching the surface. Let's talk about Intel's shiny new integrated GPU. An X in front of the number in the processor's name, or at least one of its two numbers, that's supposed to mean it has that more powerful integrated GPU. But not always. The X, you see, it's only present when it has the 12-core variant. Processors with a 10-core integrated GPU, they don't have an X in their name. Those look the same as ones with the least powerful 4-core integrated GPU. I don't know about you, but I feel a 10-core GPU has more in common with a 12-core than a 4. But here's the kicker. All of this is irrelevant anyway. You see, manufacturers can configure these chips massively differently. We've seen laptops that feed the highest-end X9388H chip 45 watts, Lenovo's IdeaPad Pro 5i. We've also seen laptops feeding that same chip only 25 watts, Dell's XPS 14. So it just doesn't matter which chip you buy anyway. In the case of that XPS 14, it just wouldn't surprise me if its Core Ultra X9 388H processor actually performed worse than a laptop with a full-powered Core Ultra 5 338H. The fact that these manufacturers can do this is a colossal problem, and wattage fed to the CPU is again not something that retailers highlight to consumers. Guys, a lot of people are probably spending money on that high-end X9 388H chip, but only getting a fraction of the performance that they're paying for. Now, technically, this is a bit more of a manufacturer issue, but Intel are allowing it to happen. Now, I interviewed Intel's head of consumer marketing. I'll link the video down below. He said that consumers just won't need to know the difference. It will all be resolved by the type of laptop they're buying. If it's a thin and light, it will have less performance than a larger, thicker laptop. But based on the product announcements that I've seen so far, that's just not the case. Lenovo's tiny Yoga Slim 7i Ultra Aura Edition, the great name product I talked about earlier, it feeds its X9 388H 40 watts. But that laptop, it's around the same size as the XPS 14, which, as I said, it only feeds its X9 388H 25 watts. So there are going to be big performance differences between very similar laptops. Now, in that interview, I also brought up the other naming issue that I did talk about with AMD Strix Halo. I mean, Intel initially called these processors Panther Lake. They then changed that name to Core Ultra Series 3 with the X thing and that 3-digit name that may or may not have an H at the end. Anyway, this means that Intel's marketing department has to just re-educate everyone on these new names, which is really costly. Why not just leave these names as Panther Lake? Heck, at least people will know that those original i5, i7, i9 designations are no longer a thing. By the way, at the end of that interview, I actually wanted to challenge him to say Intel Core Ultra Series 3 X9 388H 3 times, but we ran out of time. I don't know if anyone at Intel has actually tried saying that name, but it's a tongue twister. 8 and H, really hard to say together. Alright, drumroll please. Our winner of the worst name product of 2026 is AMD's new Ryzen AI 400 series, aka Gorgon Point. Firstly, a lot of issues that I've already talked about, they rear their ugly heads here, like AI in the name. But the biggest issue is that these processors, they aren't new. They're just dressed up to look like they're new. These are essentially Zen 5 processors, the same as last year's 300 series that is, with the most minor of minor spec bumps. Literally, 100 MHz more turbo boost, so around 2% more CPU performance, at best that is, and no change to the GPU. These processors, they do have around 10 more TOPS that's in their MPU, but that doesn't matter as almost no applications leverage the MPU. But guys, it gets worse. Look closely at the Ryzen AI 7 445. It has 6 cores, 12 threads at a max of 4.6 GHz. Only 2 of those cores are actually their most powerful cores. Now look at the supposed worse Ryzen AI 5 340 from last year. It also has 6 cores, 12 threads, but a higher max 4.8 GHz, and 3 of its cores are the higher performance ones. AMD have literally named what should be a Ryzen 5 processor Ryzen 7 to make it look better. And that's the theme of this whole release. It's really only there to mislead you that you're buying something better when you really aren't. Alright, I'm off to therapy. I have to work through some coping mechanisms to get over the stupidity that is this industry. But at least these manufacturers, they're keeping us in business to explain all this nonsense to you. What do you think of my list, guys? Did I miss any pearlers? Now, At the end here, you know what I'm going to say. If you are in the market to buy a laptop, make sure to check out our website, bestlaptop.deals. Over there, we are demystifying laptop shopping. In fact, take a look at how we've designed our filters for CPUs or GPUs. We just group them together in terms of their performance tiers. That way, you can ignore the stupidly named products. Till next time, go do something awesome with your day, and I will catch you later.